Hi, my name is Alejandro Pérez Pérez, and this is the AI Coffee Podcast. Every week, you will have one disruptive aspect of technology and artificial intelligence for the time you drink a cup of coffee. Wow, this is the last episode of 2024. We are ending this year, so I'm really wishing you a good beginning of the next year, of course, a good end of this one. How everything is going for you. For me, everything is going more or less well. I'm little by little, I think, working well with this new freelance style life. But today we are not going to talk about that. Maybe in another video, another episode, I will talk about my projects, my wishes for the next year, and everything, how it's going. So if you're curious about that, you can ask me for that on comments or directly write me privately. So today, in this episode, we are going to talk about ChatGPT. Again, we are going to talk again about ChatGPT. Yes, since I published the last episode, the 45 episode. In this episode, if you haven't seen it, in this episode, I explain how you can use ChatGPT and other AIs, but mostly focusing on ChatGPT without being detected. Because I explained that there were detectors, that most of the universities, most of the people use it to test if other texts were written or not by ChatGPT or by other AIs. And after that specific episode, most of you wrote me then privately telling me, Alejandro, can you explain how to use ChatGPT in some scenarios, such as, for example, the university, the school, my daily life, my daily work. And I am curious. I was like, yes, okay, yeah, I will. And also, for giving you context, part of my freelance career is explaining to businesses, to companies, how to empower the way employees, the teams work by using ChatGPT well and ethically. And this is a very important also word. So because I believe in AI for humans, AI for us, and not AI for creating text forever that is not going to be like ethical or I don't believe on that. I prefer to focus on the things that these techniques, these machines, these AIs are really worth it. So today we are going to discuss and to know different use cases where you can cheat using ChatGPT. So, well, you might have already known and tested ChatGPT. ChatGPT is one of the main AI models. And models, it's not even a model, it's AI tools in the world nowadays. I don't know if you're watching this episode or listening it in 2 years, maybe everything is going to be changed. But today, and since 2022, when it appears on the market, it's like the main leading AI model and tool in the world. So ChatGPT, what it is a interface, a chat interface connected to a GPT model. And the GPT models, there are different models. The beginning, I think it was in the GPT-2 model. It wasn't even published on ChatGPT. It was before ChatGPT, and this already was a little bit nice, let's say. But the first one published when ChatGPT appeared was 3.5, I guess. And after that, a lot of different models were appearing with new specific use cases and power and a lot of things you could use or not, and a lot of limitations as well. But the thing is that little by little, this number is increasing. So we have the 4.5, 4.5, maybe 5 in a couple of weeks, months, I don't know, maybe 6, maybe 8, I don't know. But also, it's important to understand that sometimes this OpenAI company is publishing other models that are a little bit different. So instead of trying to increase the powerful, the possibilities you can do with this model, they have specific models for other stuff. So for example, they launched it recently, the 4.0, which is a model that is multipotential, let's say. So you can use it, for example, for uploading images. So this same model can recognize something on an image, and also you can write to it. So it's very helpful. For example, if you are working, I don't know, for example, with images, with graphs, with a lot of data, you can directly upload an Excel file, a picture, or something, and ask directly for information about that. Also, it works well with pictures of people, for example, doing things. It works well with PDFs, for example, and then you can ask for information about this PDF. So this model is maybe not so powerful as others, but it's maybe more useful for you. So you need to be updated. And I'm creating this episode. This is the beginning of December 2024. So I am not sure if when this episode is going to be published, everything is going to be the same, maybe not, because everything changes really quickly. But the thing is that whenever you are watching and using an AI model, I recommend you to see a little bit of data information, to see the documentation, or even ask for information to an expert. Even me, you can ask to me if, I mean, I'm available. I will write you on LinkedIn quickly an answer for saying which model is better for your use case. Because sometimes you think, or we could think that maybe a bigger number, for example, is better, but it's not always the case. Okay. So what can you do with ChatGPT and models like that? Well, the first thing you can do, and maybe this is the simple thing that you have already used it, is asking a question. Yeah, maybe you can directly ask ChatGPT or other AI models a question, such as, which is the capital of China or of, I don't know, France? You can write to ChatGPT for that information, and ChatGPT is going to provide you an answer. Here, I have to do a big disclaimer, a big thing, big parenthesis. And if you are using this, I'm not sure if this is the best thing to use, the best way to use an AI, because as I mentioned in the last episode, in the 45 episode, ChatGPT doesn't know the information by heart. It doesn't have like a database with everything. No, it doesn't work that way. How it works is that it connects, they have the connection. It has the connection between two different words and the probability of the connection of these words. So I don't want to be so technical, but the point is like it connects the words capital and France with Paris, for example. They have this connection. So if ChatGPT, whenever it is trained, it reads thousands of millions of times these three words connected in the same sentence, it will assume that the capital of France is Paris. But why, if you ask for something that is not so popular, common, or written in the world, maybe something only a couple of people know, or it's something really new? The thing is that ChatGPT is going to provide you an answer always, because it always does. It's really like a crazy person answering every time. But the bad point is that maybe this answer is wrong. So if you're using for only obtaining this information, wow, be aware that maybe this is not the best use case. But what you can do, and now here it's another use case you can do, and something I think is very helpful. Ask ChatGPT for a process. You know, sometimes I am asked, for example, as a IT person, a technical person, for how to create something on one program, for example, or how to use or to navigate inside one program, or how to do something, right? So with this, how to do something, this works really well because ChatGPT has a lot of information about, I don't know, even transcripts of YouTube or video channels explaining tutorials. So with all of that information, it really gives you the steps of doing something. And unless the program has changed recently and maybe the navigation, the windows are a little bit different, it always helps you. And even you can, as I said before, you can do a snapshot of part of your screen and say, okay, I'm stuck here. What can I do? And most of the times it works really well, explaining you, okay, you have an error here because try to do something, maybe you have a problem with this or with the other thing. So this use case, the second one, trying to ask for how to do something, it always works. It works really well. So for that, it's really a good one. So what else what you can do? The other thing I like to do is mixing texts. So for example, let's think that you are applying for a job. Most of the times while you are applying for a job, you need to write a cover letter, which usually it's something really boring, because if you are applying for, let's say, 10 or 20 positions, it's a waste of time to rewrite a cover letter every time, and sometimes it's completely boring, right? So what you can do with this kind of things, that you can mix text, you can take the application website, the application text from the company, for example, and your CV, and ask ChatGPT for creating a cover letter using the specific keywords or concepts that they are looking for in the company, and your strengths from the CV. That works really well. So while you're doing this Macedonia, I like to say, of different texts, it works really well, because here you are, let's say, focusing on one specific thing, and you're asking to rewrite and to try to find the good concepts, and it works really well. Another thing you can do is asking ChatGPT for rewrite something. As I said before, it writes really well, and it works really well, but it doesn't know the knowledge that you might know. So something interesting is, okay, try to do, maybe you are writing for an email, for example, or I don't know, maybe doing a text of your domain that it's something really technical, something you might know, and it's very complex. So what you can do is, okay, can you rewrite this to look more professional or to look more informal? Maybe because you are doing, you're explaining this to another person that doesn't know your field. Or can you maybe summarize this? Or can you maybe explain it more deeper? Yeah. So by doing that, it works really well, because, as I said before, it writes really well. It knows how we write humans, but it maybe doesn't know the concept. So if you are explaining these concepts to ChatGPT, it works really well, and it really helps you a lot, maybe. And then last but not least, the other super use case you can have for ChatGPT is, why not to use it as a consultant for brainstorming. So, for example, if you need to make a decision about your personal life or about a professional career, ChatGPT can works really, really nice. So, for example, you can ask it, can you provide me 100 of different ideas for whatever? And it could make a good impact on your career, because maybe you have different approaches that you have never thought about. And of course, it's up to you as a human to trust on these decisions or not, or to choose between those. But at the end of the day, you could have different points of view that I think are going to help you a lot on your professional and personal career. And for me, for example, as a content creator, it works really nice, because sometimes, even though I have different ideas about topics for these kind of episodes, it works really nice for me to ask it for more different ideas, more different approaches that might be different from the ones I have in mind. So the next time you need to make a decision or to create something from scratch, maybe it could work and it could be very valuable. Just to finish, to summarize a bit, I just recommend you to play with ChatGPT. The free version has a lot of things to play with. It's the most important thing, just to try to play and to avoid this fear that you might have if you haven't tried it yet. It's very simple, very easy. But if you think in your team, in your company, you need some help, I can be here for helping. I do this kind of introductional lectures and courses for companies. I'm used to that, and it really makes an impact, because if a part of your team have never used it, it could be the first best step, just to little by little create a good opportunity for your company and for your team to develop the AI skills that you need nowadays. And yeah, just to finish, thank you very much for being here one more week, for waiting until the end, watching the full episode. It really helps me. Also, please subscribe to the podcast. It's free. Yeah, I'm creating this for the world, for you. So I would be really happy if you could also give some feedback, give me 5 stars, like, and all that stuff. we, the great content creators, usually say. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful end of the year, beginning of 2025. And yeah, see you next week. Bye.